The Hunchback of Notre Dame, a story about seeing the beauty in all things. But if we shift the perspective from the half-formed man, and instead focus on the Minister of Justice, Claude Frollo,
these gypsy vermin to the Palace of Justice,
then it becomes a story about trying to create a Puritan society only for a creature you deem to be incredibly ugly to get dumped on your lap, then align with a gypsy witch.
I see her, the sun caught in her raven hair.
Only for you to feel so much burning desire to sleep with her that you literally set fire to Paris. But to understand that, let me just put you in his shoes. So imagine for a minute that you are Frollo,
A monster.
Minister of Justice in Paris. Growing up, you were pulling off the legs of some insects. You realised that you actually really quite enjoy hurting others. But only if they are lesser life forms and frankly deserve it. You then realise that guards basically get to hurt others, and it's totally justified because people broke the law. Now, of course, obviously you don't want to be just a guard, you are part of the aristocracy. So you opt instead to be a Minister of Justice. And once you get this job, this allows you to administer justice through the forms of whips, fire pokers, and all manner of torturous methods that would make even a serial killer blush. But imagine your surprise when you were just minding your own business, purifying some gypsies in Paris that just caused some mischief just by their own existence, honestly, and one of them, they run because they're very clearly holding contraband close to their chest. I mean, it is a woman after all. What else could she be carrying as if their life depended on it? It's clearly something they stole, like money or jewelry or something. So you chase after her, accidentally trip her over on the steps of Notre Dame, and find out that those stolen goods was actually...
Baby.
And of course the first thing that pops into your mind as you look at this poor creature is, dear God, why the fuck was she trying to protect this thing?
A monster.
It needs to be destroyed. It needs to be drowned. It looks like it has just crawled out of the Habsburg family tree. But this thing isn't royalty, so it's definitely not acceptable to look like this. Anyway, it turns out you murdered that girl. It's a pity, but she did run, so she totally had it coming. It's honestly not your fault. You were just pursuing justice. This is the price of justice. If she was innocent, she wouldn't have run.
My conscience is clear.
But anyway, this priest comes over and starts singing to you about guilt or something.
You can claim that you haven't acquired.
Saying something about how you, the most perfect and pure and good soul, are evil. No, you are not evil. You are just a perfectionist. The world must be perfect, and there is no place for evil creatures, like this thing in your arms, honestly. But the song actually gets you. It quite literally puts the fear of God in you, because somehow it made all of the gargoyles of Notre Dame look at you. So you ask what you must do. Not because you actually want to make amends for anything that you've done, because frankly you haven't done anything wrong here, but because you don't want to receive the ire of God. And the priest tells you that you need to look after this baby, which is an ironic, cruel twist of fate. But it is also kind of wonderful, because you can just lock this thing up in the cathedral and then you can just use it as your emotional punching bag for years, decades even. Like before, you were just going to have one fleeting moment of pure bliss as you stuffed it in a well, but now you get to destroy this creature's self-worth, gaslight him endlessly, and essentially torture this thing, and it's totally justified because you think it's a lower life form. And technically you saved its life, so naturally he owes you. He could be tortured. Of course, you decide to name him Quasimodo, because you really only tell the truth. To lie is a sin. And you make him into the bellboy, just so that whenever you hear the bells of Notre Dame, you can feel a sweet tinge of pleasure at the thought that he lives alone devoid of any friends. Although he does believe that his gargoyles talk to him. Well, it's luckily that he's technically sectioned, isn't it? But one day, he mixes up the F in alphabet, not for forgiveness, not that any creature ever deserves forgiveness, but for festival. The creature wants to go out in public, which honestly wouldn't be that good. Otherwise, people would associate him with you. And that is just a thought you cannot entertain. You are perfect. You are an aristocrat as well. You cannot be associated with the likes of him publicly. It's bad enough that you have to look after him at all. And you're only doing it because you would quite literally go to hell otherwise.
Whom you can trust in this whole city. I am your only friend.
Anyway, to get him off your back, you opt for a little cheeky gaslighting and make him feel bad for even suggesting that he could live in the outside world. After all, you do actually believe that people are evil and cruel, and you in this world are noble and wise, and they will torture Quasimodo endlessly.
I who keep you, teach you, feed you, dress you. I who look upon you without fear.
And that leads you to go back to what's really important. Whipping the ever-loving shit out of some gypsies. Did they commit any crimes? What is the worst crime than the existence of a gypsy? This is Paris, and if there is one thing that Parisians hate more than speaking English, it's... Oh, no, yeah, no, it's speaking English. But on the day of the festival, you are forced to watch as these people put on a very clear display of hearsay of the highest order. There's magic, there's dancing, it's debaucherous. Wow, she is... Okay, no, you actually can't think of anyone that way, especially someone like her. She's a gypsy. But you nearly caught a sniff of her hair. She sparked something inside of you more powerful than mere torture. No, now you want to do unspeakable things to her. Things that would probably get you sent to hell. But then you watch on in horror as Quasimodo appears for some reason and gets given royal treatment, like he's a king. And honestly, it's kind of irksome to see him get cheered on by people. After all, because you think he is a monster, he should not be praised, he should not be applauded, he should be tortured, honestly. Okay, yeah, no, so that's about what you expected. What you didn't expect, though, was for him to get hogtied and spat on, which is honestly kind of nice. This is sweet justice. This is how it should be. Now Quasimodo will understand the horrors of this world, and he will invariably stay in that tower where he belongs. And then he will graciously wait for the days when you can go and give him your emotional lashings, and he'll enjoy it because he thinks the world is crueler. But then that gypsy woman comes back and shows fucking compassion for the little creature. Dear God, woman, she must be one of those Catholics that preaches the whole love thy neighbour spiel rather than vengeance and brimstone and smiting that the Bible was actually really about. How could they possibly interpret the Bible to mean peace and love? Peace can only be achieved through order and discipline, justice, not through love or whatever. Love thy sin, I hate thy sin. Fuck off. Kill all the sinners and there'll be no sin. But this girl actually performs witchcraft.
What the fuck?
Which means only one thing. She needs to be burned at the stake. So you get the new captain to find her.
Find her, Captain. I want her alive.
Yes, sir.
And, well, he does, in the cathedral, and apparently this cathedral is some kind of magical bullshit device that even witches can claim sanctuary.
Minister Frollo learned years ago to respect the sanctity of the church.
Yes, you still have that growth of a human eating your grapes and apparently ruining your festivals. How could you ever forget? But this really rubs you up the wrong way. There is no way this heathenous slice of hell could get away with all of this. So you do a little switcheroo, and when everyone leaves, you sneak on up behind her. Tell her that you're going to wait for her, but not before you do get that sniff of her hair. Just a little sniff. And boy, it sends shivers down your spine. So yeah, you're actually fully in your BDSM phase at this point.
I was just imagining a rope around that beautiful neck.
Which probably would be worth eternal damnation to do all of these twisted things that you feel inside of yourself right now to this woman.
I know what you're imagining.
She's on to you, but a little bit of misdirection. Tell her that she's the one imagining you doing these things to her. Gaslight her a little bit. After all, you do have 20 years of practice abusing an isolated creature. Ain't no way you can't do the same to some gypsy. It's her imagination. She's the one twisting the truth, not you. That thing in your pocket is definitely a silver dagger. How dare she assume that you, the pure and perfect creature of humanity, borderline asexual, could ever wish to perform sexual acts on a creature as low as her? But you go home that night, you get caught up in the fire, and honestly that fire is basically just a metaphor for how you feel. Your burning desire to make the woman yours, or to honestly burn her at the stake at this point. What you didn't expect though is she kind of started appearing in the fire, like your brain imagined it, taunting you and teasing you, and you are whisked back to that nunnery where you were a child getting your hands caned because you had a wet dream and stained your robes, and then they saw it and thought you... wow. It was a dream of a nun, and you still remember it to this day. But this is so much worse. Now, you must act on your earthly desires. You can't just whip them out. You must sin. Actually, if you marry her first, make her yours, then would it actually be a sin? You are not a priest, so... might as well concoct a plan, get her, arrest her, then use that as leverage to marry her. Because surely, between a choice of life and death, she will choose to marry you and live. But you are rudely interrupted just as you're sniffing that handkerchief, and they tell you she escaped. And honestly, that is kind of music to your ears, because she's not claiming sanctuary. And now you can set fire to Paris.
I'll find her. I'll find her if I have to burn down all of Paris.
Like the entirety of it. And it's justified because you are seeking a witch.
Find the gypsy girl.
But then you get your crescendo. And so you go on the hunt for this witch. You keep trying to bribe all of the gypsies, but unfortunately, despite all of their previous money-grabbing inclinations, they seem rather disinclined to acquiesce to your request. And so you need to set an example out of somebody. So you opt for the miller, because, well, fuck that guy. He's so nice and affable. People like him and prefer him over you. And now you have an actual justification to kill him. It's perfect.
Burn it.
What?
But of course, the guard doesn't want you to do it.
I was not trained to murder the innocent.
Goddamn fucking soy boy can't even set fire to a house. So you do what any logical human does with a fully functioning god complex. You set fire to yourself. Oh boy, he's dead now, isn't he?
The sentence for insubordination is death. Such a pity.
And the way that he looked at that gypsy, he does actually need to die. Anyone that could take her away from you needs to die. But then he tries to escape on your horse, which is frankly just fucking annoying. So you ask your archers to shoot him, hoping that they don't actually hit your horse. It fucking worked. Holy crap. Dozens of arrows, and they only hit him or missed. Talk about divine intervention. It's so good to have God on your side. No, this moment right here just proves God is on your side. A less pious man would have had their horse killed, but not you. Not you. So you search the entire city looking for the slice of sin, but you actually get it into your head that Quasimodo will probably help her.
Unless...
because he very clearly helped her escape. So you pay your dear old son a visit.
Is there something troubling you, Quasimodo?
He's very clearly anxious.
Oh, no!
And not at all like himself. Normally he's pretty nervous about your presence, but this is so much worse. He's anxious about something else entirely, and you can't help but feel you know exactly what's going on.
Oh, but there is. I know there is.
The creature actually made a little doll of the girl. So, of course, you used that to put all of the blame on him, make him suffer for all these horrible things that he caused just by existence. Paris is on fire. You didn't do that, he did. But it's not his fault, really. He doesn't have the intellectual capacity to understand when someone is grifting him. He literally cannot understand when people are trying to hurt him. And that gypsy girl wants to hurt him badly.
Gypsies are not capable of real love?
Of course, your little creature will lure you to her. It's so obvious. That poor child won't be able to help himself. And when he takes the bait, you can swoop in. Not only kill her, but all of the gypsies. Okay, yeah, so who would have thought that the gypsies were in the catacombs? I mean, in hindsight, it's pretty fucking obvious.
Without his help, I would never have found my way here.
Nor would I.
And why you didn't think about it before is beyond you. But it is what it is. Hindsight is a wonderful thing. At least you have the information now. And you can win this day. You can chain up Quasimodo as well. God, that just makes you so happy to think about. That you can just stuff him on the bell tower and make him watch his girlfriend burn at the stake like the witch that she is. Maybe then he will learn that you and only you are the perfect being, and that witches, hunchbacks, and even guards are just disgusting, empathetic creatures.
And they must be stopped.
Before you set fire to her, though, you do offer her chance of salvation. How could she say no? It's not exactly a choice.
Choose me or the fire.
And she spits on your face. Well, fuck me. But that's good, because you were feeling a little chilly anyway, and now you get to watch her burn. Sure, you probably would have preferred a little whipping, maybe some strangulation, but you'll settle for a little fire. Oh, so all those years of swinging from the bells, and he has the strength of 20 men. Strong enough to break iron chains? Cool. And then he goes full King Kong and screams sanctuary like an ape. Good God, man, this creature is supposed to be human. Vaguely. And besides, he doesn't even know he is a gypsy himself. Like, look at this girl. She, frankly, looks a bit like his mum. She could be his cousin. I mean, if they had a child, the next generation. Oh, God.
Seize the cathedral.
So you storm the cathedral. You are not going to let these two escape. You need to watch her die. You need that release. You need to feel the light extinguish from her eyes, so that way you can flagellate to it tonight. So you try to socially engineer a knife in the back of Quasimodo. Finally, you can get him out of your life and you'll be free of this horrible obligation. But he actually sees through you and nearly kills you himself. But luckily, the gypsy waking up saves your life. Talk about saved by the bell. It's good to have God on your side. Anyway, you have a little cheeky fight on the cathedral. You nearly get him too, but just as you're about to land the finishing blow... Wait, so Quasimodo wasn't schizophrenic? But you quite literally fall into the burning depths of Paris, which may as well be hell. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a like. And this was the first video edited by an actual editor, not me. So if they did a good job, please let me know in the comments. I'm sure he will be aggressively reading them. I just want to shout out my members real quick, especially Alexander Coleman and good old Granite. And of course, Lavender, Zyla, Toasted Bread, and Alan. Thank you. Have a great day and have a great life.
Faces all changing.